We have Anthony in Virginia, has no preference on pronouns, with an intelligent design argument for us to consider. So welcome, Anthony. How are you?
Hey, Matt. Hey, Captain DadPool. Matt, I've first found out about you about 10 years ago, and I've seen 1,000 of your debates online. You do a great job. I don't agree with you, but I'm kind of happy to be able to talk to you for the first time.
Sure.
Anyways,
if you're ready to do this, to like present your case, I'll put the clock up and start off that way.
I'm ready.
All right, let's give him a clock. Here's Anthony. What do you got for us, sir?
All right. I want to present the case that intelligent design is a philosophically sound argument. And I want to start with the premise that any effect we observe within the universe has two types of causes. They are either naturalistic causes or there are intelligent causes, meaning an intelligent, willful agent acting within the universe to cause an effect that would differentiate it from merely naturalistic, force of the universe acting upon matter, causing some type of effect. So those are the two types of causes, naturalistic and intelligent. And intelligent design is basically the premise that if you can, or one of the premises is that if you can eliminate the naturalistic cause, theoretically, then it becomes reasonable to believe that an intelligent cause is the cause of the effect you're observing. Doesn't necessarily prove it, but it makes it reasonable to believe that intelligent cause is a cause. I know I've said cause 1,000 times. We're talking about cause and effect here. So basically, just theoretically,
we're past the minute, and I've already found bunches of problems. But I want to see what Captain DadPool has to say about what you've said so far.
Oh. All right.
I honestly don't even know where to start with this one. Matt, if you want to start?
Yeah, I can start.
Maybe I can piggyback off you.
So first of all, I reject virtually everything that you've said, right down to all causes are either naturalistic or intelligent, because I'm only aware of intelligent causes that are also naturalistic. I'm not aware of a non-natural intelligent. And so all causes that I'm aware of are naturalistic. So that's a false dichotomy to set up that they're either naturalistic or intelligent. A true dichotomy would be they're either naturalistic or non-naturalistic. That's a true dichotomy, which means you've already got a muddied false dichotomy there when the intelligent causes are natural too. But also you said that the case for ID was philosophically sound. Well, an argument, a syllogism, has two criteria that we judge: validity, which gets to the structure, and soundness, which gets to the truth of the premises. When you say it's philosophically sound, what the hell do you mean? Because that's a meaningless statement to me. To say that something is sound means that it is true or accepted as true. And there's not special versions of true. It's not like something is esoterically true, mathematically true, philosophically true. So I think you've stuck an adjective in there where one doesn't need to be. So I guess let's see if we can revitalize this.
Can I address both of the points you made? So first I'll address what does sound mean? It means it can help us if we're trying to ask if some effect is, and I know you disagree with the dichotomy, but is caused by an intelligent agent or purely naturalistic forces of the universe type causes, then intelligent design gives us a mechanism or a thought, a system by which we can determine whether something is caused by one of those two types of causes. Now,
okay, we have to stop. We have to stop again, Anthony, because if you rewind this, I swear, because I'm typing as you speak, you wanted to address soundness and what soundness means. And then you completely ignored what soundness means and talked about how intelligent design gives a mechanism or system by which we can determine whether a cause is intelligent or natural. And so first of all, that has nothing to do with soundness, which is what you said you were describing. Second of all, intelligent design gives no mechanism or system that actually demonstrably can do anything. It's just an assertion that because of probability, they've concluded that an intelligence is more likely than not. which is not a mechanism or system. And this is why intelligent design isn't science and isn't accepted by scientists. Most of them.
Okay, well, yes, okay, I agree with what you said. Basically, you just summed up intelligent design the way I believe it, which is that if you can basically prove that something is incredibly unlikely to have happened by what I would personally call naturalistic forces, then it becomes reasonable to believe that an intelligent agent is responsible for the effect.
Except that's false. That's false. That's fallacious. So first of all, nothing in science and nothing in a structured argument should be phrased as if you can basically prove. That's weasel language. And so first of all, you haven't basically proved, neither is intelligent design community. They haven't proved anything. They haven't basically proved anything. They've just claimed something. But if you could demonstrate that something is incredibly unlikely, that it does not become reasonable to assume that the correct answer is magic. You don't get to say, hey, all of these known causes seem very unlikely. Therefore, the cause is an unknown cause, or is most likely an unknown cause, and I know what that unknown cause is. That's so many layers of fallacious thinking. It's like fractally wrong.
Well, and unlikely does not equal impossible.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So however unlikely a particular natural cause is, you can't say that a supernatural cause is more likely because you have no way to calculate the likelihood of that supernatural cause, do you?
And I think that goes to what you were saying about your disagreement about the dichotomy between intelligence and naturalism. See, I do believe that intelligent agents are not the same nature as naturalistic forces of the universe. So, for instance,
I tell you, Anthony, I just rebutted some stuff and included some questions. And instead of addressing any of that, now you've switched focus back to this intelligence naturalism dichotomy. Are you going to acknowledge points that were made or points that were rebutted? Or are you just going to throw in the towel on those and go back to something else?
Well, you've made a number of points. Which point would you like me to address?
I don't know, something I've actually fucking said, rather than just deflecting all of it and saying, oh, here's the thing about intelligence and naturalism.
Okay.
Does the fact that we don't have a likely natural explanation mean that it's reasonable to conclude the explanation is more likely supernatural?
Well, I reject the idea that intelligence is supernatural. I'm not even talking about.
I did not say, suggest, or even hint that I thought intelligence was supernatural. As a matter of fact, I specifically said that the only intelligence I'm aware of is natural. So why are you now arguing against the exact opposite of what I said?
Okay, because I think I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but what I'm trying to argue is, like, when I'm coming about the difference between intelligent agency and naturalism is, if you look at a smartphone, there are a couple questions we could ask. Could it have come about by the motion of atoms through the universe being acted upon by the force of nature? Or was it caused by an intelligent being willfully manipulating matter to create the object in question? So
that's a false dichotomy, because the intelligent being is the physical, natural embodiment of what's going on in the universe. So you've set up a false dichotomy yet again. And a smartphone, the reason that we know a smartphone is designed by an intelligence is because all of the available evidence points to that conclusion. And there is no available evidence that suggests that smartphones occur naturally. The dichotomy to address is between something which occurs naturally and something which does not occur naturally. Smartphones don't occur naturally. The universe, we don't know about. As far as we can tell,
so
it occurs naturally. Humans occur naturally. Trees occur naturally.
Well, that's actually the question we're trying to answer. Do they occur naturally?
Yes, they do occur naturally. This isn't a question.
Now they do.
No. The intelligent design argument suggests that the facets of the universe were more probably designed by an intelligence. Okay?
Right.
Which part was was the helium atom, was that designed by an intelligence? How do you know?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Ultimately, intelligent I would say the entire universe, but I want to focus on objects within the universe because I think it's easier.
I just did. I literally just asked you about helium. Is helium not an object within the universe, or are you just deflecting?
Helium would be a natural object within the universe. There's no reason to
Hang
believe
on.
that it's created
Hang
by
on. No, sir. No, sir. Intelligent design proposes that the helium atom is a product of the design of an intelligence. Are you suggesting that intelligent design is wrong about the helium atom?
Well, I think that is not as well founded as other aspects of the physical. So when you're looking at
atoms, okay. So
it is hard.
Do you have some expertise in physics, cosmology, etc.? Or are you just armchair deciding, hey, I really like ID because it points to a God, but I don't think I can go all the way to where ID is.
Well, I didn't say I think it points to a God necessarily, but definitely to an intelligent agent that is the source of life on Earth.
Intelligent agent conveniently for the things you think it does and not for the things you don't. Do you have some scientific basis to rule out hydrogen or helium as being designed?
Well, we could go through every object in the universe, but when you
I don't need to. I started with the basics. I see. This is the problem, Anthony. You can't go with intelligent design and suggest that the entirety of the universe is the result of a designer and bears the hallmarks of a designer. You just can't do it. And that's why you're not willing to say that helium is the result of an intelligent designer, because some part of your brain recognizes, okay, that would be a really silly argument. I don't have anything to back that up. But somehow I think you think trees are designed, but the chemicals that make up the trees are not designed.
Right, because let's say you take like a pile of lumber. A pile of lumber it could have just fallen by trees falling on the ground from naturalistic forces. So the lumber may not be that assembly of lumber may not be intelligent created, but when the lumber forms itself into a shape of a house, at that point you can say, okay,
you're not listening.
Must have taken the.
Yes. And do you know why we know that houses are intelligently designed? Because all of the available evidence suggests that houses are designed by intelligence, and no available evidence suggests that houses occur fucking naturally.
That's true. I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, you're failing to distinguish the difference between design and non-design. You understand?
How do you determine that hydrogen and helium aren't designed, but the products of hydrogen and helium are designed? What evidence and expertise and knowledge are you using to suggest that you've cracked the code of the universe and that you know what is and isn't designed, and that you are both supporting intelligent design and countering it by saying it's not right about hydrogen and helium?
Well, if you remember, I wasn't actually trying to prove intelligent design is true. I was just trying to prove it's philosophically sound. And
there's no such thing as philosophically sound, okay? Sound means true.
Okay, you're right. Right.
And first of all, stop. Intelligent design is not a syllogism. It is not an argument. Intelligent design does not have premises and a conclusion. So therefore, it cannot be either valid or sound. You would have to present arguments from intelligent design. Intelligent design is a movement of creationists trying to hide the fact that they're creationists by asserting that they have an explanation for the origin and apparent design in the universe when nobody else does. But you don't get to say something is sound. You might as well say it adds up.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I should say the arguments that intelligent design proponents give are philosophically sound.
Except that the intelligent design proponents, Anthony, would argue that hydrogen and helium are the result of a designer. So if you're going to say that what the intelligent design proponents are saying is sound, what is your justification for saying it's sound except for helium?
Well, there are some things that I think can be more easily established than others. For the intelligent design of like an atomic structure, I don't see how anyone could go about establishing that is intelligently designed, because it just appears to be there. But when you talk about formations of atoms and molecules, then you get to start to ask, well, how did these molecules form themselves into the the structures that they
It's
are.
chemistry.
And-
The individual atoms interact with each other in predictable ways. They are physical. We understand chemistry. And so if you just look at this, how do these things do? That chemistry, the laws of how these atoms interact are what determine what results. If you want to talk about intelligent design, then take some hydrogen and combine it with some oxygen and come up with boron. That would be an intelligent design. That would be violating the physical laws of the universe, so that instead of producing hydrogen monoxide or water or whatever else, you get a completely different element. That's what intelligent design could do and doesn't do. Everything about the interaction of chemicals from the periodic table is predictable and largely understood. And the fact that you seem to intuitively understand, oh, we don't need an explanation for hydrogen, but you think we need an explanation for how hydrogen combines with oxygen for water? You think water was designed? At what, or is water on your list of things that weren't designed and just more complex things?
When I'm talking about structures, I mean incredibly complex structures such as living organisms.
Sure. So once again, you have bought into an absolute garbage notion that complexity is a hallmark of design. The exact opposite is true. Simplicity is a hallmark of design, not complexity. You don't get to look at something and say, wow, that's incredibly complex. It must have been designed, because there are plenty of chemical structures that are incredibly complex that have no hallmark of any sort of designer anywhere. So,
I'm sure you've heard of the.
I'm sure we're going to move on now.
Okay, I'll call back some other time. Thank you.
Sure.
This sort of thing isn't even a philosophical issue anymore. Like, this is a scientific issue. You can't insert philosophy back into this, and back into something that science has already explained.
It's so strange, because I mean, it's like Anthony's almost there. He almost recognizes why intelligent design is a load of crap, because the intelligent design proponents think the entirety of the universe, the gravitational constants, all of the things we've discovered in physics, all the things we've discovered in chemistry, all of that is the result of an intelligent designer. And Anthony doesn't think that those things are the result of a designer so much as a tree, because a tree is just too complex, except that it's not. What you need is when one atom combines with another to create a new structure, and then that structure now has no new rules of how it can combine with other structures. And over time, with enough interactions, you get to the point where you end up with self-replicating molecules. And it's just, I don't know, but to say that because we don't understand it all, I think is kind of the crux there. He thinks he's got a good understanding of, physics and chemistry and hydrogen, or at least enough to say that this doesn't need a designer. But to suggest that we understand enough to say, oh, no, but trees do. Well, all right, please, on the entire spectrum of all chemical structures, which everything in the universe that you're going to point to is chemical structures in the sense of matter. So from the first hydrogen atom to the most complex, show me where you draw the line of what had to have a designer. Did water need a designer? Did C11H17NO3 need a designer? How do you know? I'm just maybe we'll get some something beyond intelligent design and some Bible calls here.